Welcome back to the IE427 garage, everybody. Today we're working on the coupe, and I've started on the Driveshaft safety loop, but I got distracted while I had the car at a comfortable height to work on something else. So come right back and I'll show you what I'm working on. As I said, I started working on the Driveshaft safety loop, and I've got it installed in the car, but as is the case with this car, I don't know what it is, I'm in a hardware issue. I've got it in with some temporary hardware, but I'll show you that once I have the car up in the air again. And it'll be before the end of this video, but I want to get that Driveshaft safety loop finished. And what I did, because I had the car down at what is a comfortable height right here for me to work on the wiring in the chassis harness, is I started the day removing this. So it now says on here, hot rod only, and it's this pigtail. So basically, every wire that you need for like our turn signal switch is in here. So here is the right and the left turn signal wires. Right? Here is the other for the front. Okay, so that's the blue. We got the blue. Let's see, blue, white, yellow, green. So these are the turn signal wires left and right. So you got the blue, the green, the yellow, and the white, and then we've got the emergency flasher circuit here, and we've got the turn signal flasher, which is the gray, here. The last two wires in there are the purple. And the purple is for the brake light circuit, and the brown is for the horn. So all of those wires are doubled. So they go to the hot rod harness, which is that connector that we took off. And the reason I'm taking it off is there's no room for any extra wiring in the footbox, driver's side footbox of the coupe. And this is probably true for the Mark V as well, because the footbox just isn't as high. So on a Mark IV, you figure this part of the footbox comes up and then down again on the other side. And so it's probably about 4 inches more room inside of the Mark IV footbox than there is in the Mark V or the coupe. So if you look at the master cylinders, they're right here and the lid is right here. So there's no room in the top of here to stuff a bunch of wires, so you have to find another place to put all that shit. And that harness came out right here. So what I did is I cut the split loom right across here. This will go back on and I'll tape it all back shut, but it was right in here. And this is right where the front harness ties in. So this is the wires to the front of the car. And this ties into this harness right here that is actually going to the front of the car. So these two will go together, and I'm probably going to stuff these over like right up here somewhere. So they're going to follow the bottom of the footbox and then up in behind the dash. But I didn't need that hot rod harness, and so I wanted to strip it out of there because I just didn't need all that extra bulk of wire. So all those wires travel through this harness out to here and then into this connector, all but one. One of the connectors, the brown wire for the horn, the purple wire, the purple wire for the brake light assembly goes to this connector, which is part of the rear harness. And you can see what I've done here. I took that extra purple wire, I cut it, and then I took some shrink tubing and I shrunk it around the 2 wires. So the blunt end of this wire that I cut off is now inside this shrink tubing. So it's nice and safe and it's not gonna get hurt, you know? I could have cut it back here at the connector, but I was just afraid that with the bare wire, it would be right at the end of this connector. And I just didn't want it to arbitrarily touch something in the future. So this is my kind of my go-to method of safing off wires. All the other wires go to this connector right here, which goes to the dash harness. So if you look, here's the brown, the white, the blue, the yellow, the green, the pink, and the gray. These are all turn signal wires. And what I've done is the same thing. So I just cut off the extra wire that went to that hot rod harness. I put some shrink tubing around it, and then all of these wires are now safed off. Now, I used my pin removal tool right here for all the ones on this connector, the connector going to the dash. I used my standard WeatherPack connector removing tool for the round one right here because it has round pins in it. So I have pins for all, I have pin removal tools for all of this stuff. These are a little bit more difficult because once you collapse the pin, before you put it back in, you have to bend the pin back in place so that it catches in there. And there's this extra lock on here, this gray kind of cap that keeps all of the connectors in once you've got them landed inside the connector. So I've got those all done. What I'm gonna probably work on next is getting this harness up and over here, and I'm probably gonna put a single cushion clip, probably an 1.25" cushion clip right up here to keep those wires kind of tucked up so they'll go up and in behind the dash. And then this connector here, or these connectors here, and these connectors here that are gonna kind of go with that are gonna be up in there as well. My next step is to get this split loom all put back in place so that I can go ahead and do what I just told you, which is put that wire harness up there. So that's what I'm working on this afternoon. And then when I get the hardware, which will probably be Monday, I'll pick up, I need 3 bolts. I'll pick those up and then I'll raise the car up and get that hardware in place, and then the drive shaft safety loop will be all done. And I'll go ahead and show you how I strapped the harness in the tunnel, and then I'll show you how I fastened the drive shaft safety loop in place, because it's a universal fit, which usually means it's not gonna fit without some fabrication, and that's what we found. I ended up having to re-drill the mounting holes so that they'd work for us, and I still ended up using a rivet nut inside of the frame for one of them because I couldn't get a through bolt to go through without like poking up through the bottom of the car. So I'll show you that when I get the hardware for that, and then that's probably when I'll bring you back. All right, it's Monday afternoon, everybody. I picked up the hardware this morning when I was at the home center for the drive shaft safety loop. So I'll raise the car up in a minute. We'll get that hardware changed out. I'll show you what's going on with that. But I wanted to go ahead and show you, while the car's down at a nice height, what I worked on last night, and that was getting the chassis harness kind of tucked in to where it's gonna feed behind the dash. And the Coupe by far is more difficult to route your wires on. And I can only imagine the Mark V is the same way, because the foot boxes and the structure of the car in general for the new Mark V are very similar to the Coupe. So there is not a whole lot of room, for instance, in the foot boxes for, this wiring right here. This is the front harness, and this is the connector that the front harness attaches to. So we're gonna have to find a place to put this stuff, in here, because there wasn't enough room back here for it. So I'll figure that out. But what I did is I put a single cushion clip right here, and that's fastened to the bottom of the chassis right there. That holds it up and tight and away from our steering shaft, which I have out of the way right now. And then I did the same 90-degree cushion clip trick right here. So I have a 3/8 cushion clip right there with a bolt running through to an 1.25" cushion clip. And that's holding this wiring this way so that it's not going to continue to flop down behind the dash. I'm trying to give myself as much room as I can for the fasteners that are going to join that top tunnel piece in. And I'm going to probably, in the next video, be drilling those holes in that tunnel piece to get all of this kind of stuff through the firewall. It's not really the firewall because I'm not going to come through up here. I just think it's going to look like dog shit if I bring all that wiring up high through the firewall. So they're going to go through this upper tunnel piece and then down through the tunnel and up into the engine bay. So we're going to have that wiring. We're going to have our gauge wiring that's going to go through there, and we're also going to have all of our Holley stuff, which I've got laid out here in the foot box. So I'm trying to figure out what of this, and basically it's from about here forward. All of this stuff right here has to go out into the engine bay. So I'm figuring out how I'm going to take that through that panel as well. Now, let me stop. I'm going to raise up the car. We'll go under the car. I'll show you what it looks like before I change the hardware out, because I've just got some temporary hardware in there now. And then I'll put the new hardware in for the Driveshaft safety loop, and then that'll probably wrap up the video. Hardware's all been replaced. You can see I've got 3 grade 8 bolts in there. There are lock nuts and washers on top of each of those. I've got some thread locker on there. I chose the blue, which is the medium strength. Should hold it no problem. So the Driveshaft safety loop is done. I told you I was going to show you how I strapped some of the wiring under here, primarily the rear harness. I've got some cushion clips right up here and right here, and then I've got another one right over here. And then I'm still working on getting all of the connectors connected. So I've got to get the lockout reverse plunger solenoid plugged in. I have to get the VSS plugged in, which is right here. And then I've got to get the reverse light connector plugged in, which is right here. You can see the harness is kind of hanging right here. I've got to get that back up into the car, but I was working on getting that front tunnel panel kind of situated. I've got to drill some holes in the top of it and get it lined up with the holes that I've already got in the firewall piece, and so I wanted to make sure that I didn't have multiple holes for all that stuff, so I'm going to lay those holes out so they match up with the ones that are already drilled. I think that's where I'm going to leave this video. The next video, I'm hoping to get that front panel on the passenger side cockpit footbox installed. That would be this one right here. And I'm kind of weighing my options, whether I just go ahead and put a single piece of heat and sound mat on the interior of it before I put the panel in, or whether I wait, cut the pieces of heat and sound mat to those triangular shapes, glue it to the carpeting, and then stick them in with the adhesive back on the heat and sound mat. I haven't decided which I'm gonna do yet. I don't know which is gonna be easier. I'm not sure how much heat's gonna transfer through those square tubes. You know, we go around some of that stuff in the Mark IVs, so I don't know that it's really gonna be an issue, but I'm just kind of weighing my options right now to see which way is gonna work best for me. If you're enjoying the content here, as always, please do the like, the share, the subscribe, all that kind of stuff. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.